Welcome to the Deep Dive. We take your sources, we dig in, and we get you the key knowledge fast.
That's the idea.
Today, we're tackling how to really understand what makes a great tax manager. We're using a set of interview questions, really solid ones, as our guide.
Yeah, these questions are designed to get past the surface answers.
Exactly. So, our mission for you, get up to speed, quickly but thoroughly, on what to look for.
Think of it as your shortcut to really getting this specific part of finance hiring.
Okay, let's jump right in. Forecasting and planning.
A big one.
Right. There's this question about how a candidate would actually forecast next year's tax returns. Seems simple, but...
It's deceptively simple. A basic answer, might just mention looking at current financials.
Okay.
But the real insight comes when they talk about anticipating changes, future changes.
So like changes in tax law.
Exactly, that proactivity. It shows they're thinking strategically, not just crunching numbers from last year.
That makes a lot of sense. It's about planning, avoiding surprises.
Precisely. It helps the company make better decisions, maybe even find tax savings ahead of time.
Okay. Now, what about when things go wrong? Errors
Always a possibility.
is a scenario question. They find a significant error after giving an estimate to a client. Ouch.
Yeah, that's a tough spot. The key here, and what the ideal answer highlights, is immediate transparency.
So own up quickly.
Absolutely. Own up, explain, provide the corrected info. It's about trust, yes, but also about minimizing damage.
Damage like penalties or even legal trouble.
Potentially, yeah. How they handle that mistake speaks volumes about their professionalism, integrity, really.
Definitely. Okay, sticking with accuracy. How does a good manager make sure their team's work is right?
Yeah.
There's a question on checking an accountant's work.
Right. And you're looking for more than just a quick look over.
Like what?
A strong candidate will describe a detailed process, cross-referencing figures back to the original documents, and doing rigorous compliance checks against all the relevant tax rules. It's systematic.
A real quality control mindset.
That's it. Minimizing errors from the get-go.
Okay, let's switch gears slightly. Communication. Tax is complex.
Understatement of the year.
So how vital is it for a tax manager to explain complicated tax risks simply, like to people who aren't tax experts?
Oh, it's critical. Absolutely critical. The guide uses an example about investment risks.
Right, explaining tax-efficient versus inefficient investments.
Yeah. Can they boil down that technical stuff, how different investments affect your overall tax bill into clear, practical terms?
If they can't.
Well, then their technical brilliance isn't nearly as valuable to the business, is it? They need to bridge that gap.
Makes sense. Okay,
Yeah.
some foundational stuff. Federal versus state taxes. Seems basic.
It is, but the nuances matter. A good candidate needs to articulate the core difference clearly.
Which is?
Fundamentally, federal taxes are uniform nationwide. State taxes, they're all over the map.
Literally.
Huh? Yeah. Some states have no income tax, others have completely different rules for deductions, credits.
So knowing that shows they grasp the bigger picture.
Yes, and the specific complexities that can really impact a company depending on where it operates.
Got it. Now, technology. Accounting software. How crucial is hands-on experience?
Non-negotiable, basically. In today's world, you need that practical skill.
The guide mentions QuickBooks, TurboTax, Oracle. Quite a range.
Right, and that shows the spectrum. QuickBooks for smaller setups, maybe TurboTax for certain filings, or Oracle for big enterprise systems.
So familiarity signals they can actually do the job day to day.
Exactly. It shows they can hit the ground running and use the tools efficiently.
Okay, this one surprised me a bit. Organizing physical records. Still relevant.
You'd think not, wouldn't you? But yes, surprisingly often. Audits, certain compliance things, physical paper still exists. So a good answer isn't just about digital files. It might mention, labeled folders, maybe a digital index for the physical stuff.
It shows good organizational habits overall.
Precisely. Systematic thinking, whether it's digital or physical.
Okay, what about companies with international operations? Managing foreign affiliate returns sounds complex.
It is hugely complex. It's not just U.S. tax law anymore.
You need to know the foreign country's rules, too.
Absolutely. And often, you need to collaborate effectively with local accountants in those other countries.
So you're looking for experience navigating both domestic and foreign regulations.
Yes, and that ability to work across borders, coordinating with local experts.
Makes sense. Now, tax managers often lead people. Team management.
Oh, and a key part of the role, yeah.
The questions touch on handling employee performance, giving feedback. What does that tell you?
It tells you about their leadership potential. Can they do more than just manage tax processes? Can they manage and develop people?
So performance reviews, constructive feedback.
Yeah, are they thinking about team growth? Building a high-performing tax function? It's about their interpersonal skills, too.
Right. And that leads nicely into ethics. Big emphasis here.
As it should be.
There's a direct question about handling an ethical dilemma. What's the interviewer really trying to get at?
Their moral compass. Their integrity. How do they react when faced with something questionable?
The example was reporting underreported income to a boss.
Right. Does the candidate prioritize doing the right thing, following policy, upholding standards, even if it's difficult?
Because the stakes are high in finance.
Extremely high. It's about protecting the company's integrity.
Okay, so let's try and pull this all together. Based on all this, what are the absolute key qualities of a strong candidate?
Well, you need that deep current understanding of tax law, obviously. Proficiency with the right software is crucial. Then you've got communication, making the complex simple. Strong organizational skills.
And ethics.
And unwavering ethics. Plus, ideally, those team leadership skills we talked about.
And on the flip side, the red flags. What should make you pause?
Definitely a shaky grasp of basic tax principles. That's a big warning sign. Also, unfamiliarity with common accounting software, especially software relevant to your business size, and poor communication skills if they can't explain things clearly in the interview.
That they likely won't be able to on the job.
Right, exactly. Those are pretty major flags.
The guide breaks these questions down: operational, situational, role-specific, behavioral. Can you quickly unpack why the different types?
Sure. Operational and situational, like forecasting or error handling, test how they'd act in real job scenarios. Practical application.
Okay.
Role-specific state versus federal tax. Software knowledge directly checks their technical fit for this specific tax manager role.
Got it.
And behavioral questions, ethical dilemmas, past achievements, handling deadlines. They look at past behavior to predict future performance. It's about character, work style.
That makes sense. It gives you a rounded picture.
Exactly. You're assessing skills, knowledge, and how they operate as a professional.
And let's just circle back quickly to ethics. Why is it so non-negotiable here?
Because a tax manager is in a position of immense financial trust, their actions reflect directly on the company's integrity.
Impacts reporting, clients, regulators.
Everything. Ethical lapses can cause severe damage, legal, financial, reputational. It's foundational.
Right. And finally, you mentioned employee management skills are often needed. Why is that typically part of the tax manager job?
Well, like we said, they often lead teams, accountants, analysts. So being able to delegate, evaluate performance, give good feedback, develop their people.
It's crucial for the whole tax department to run well.
Absolutely. It's about the efficiency and effectiveness of the entire function, not just their individual contribution.
Okay, so summing up, evaluating a tax manager isn't just about tax code knowledge. It's technical skill, problem solving, communication, organization, ethics, and often management capability. It's a whole package.
That's a great summary. And hopefully by understanding why these questions are asked and what good answers look like, you now have a much deeper insight into spotting a really top-tier tax manager.
Absolutely. Which brings us to our final thought for you today. We've seen how complex and crucial hiring a tax manager is, given the intricate regulations and financial impact. So consider this. What other roles, maybe ones we think of as more standard, might actually benefit from this kind of detailed, insightful hiring approach? Where else could digging deeper really pay off in finding the right talent? Something to think about.